So I want to go over the I got cut off. I just want to let you know that if you're wondering why I'm repeating it, I got cut off. So let's continue to keep going where we left off at. We were talking about effective questioning. So you have open end questioning. So you want to ask questions that requires more than a yes or no answer. And what that does, it encourages deeper communication, make the person open up and start talking more. All right. So you would say something like, "So how did that make you feel?" When your partner is talking, you can start asking more questions like, "How did that make you feel?" And now they're gonna talk up and they're gonna open up to you and everything. And then you have feedback techniques. This is the part where people end up taking offense to. And this is one of the reason why people get into arguments. And not only that you get into an argument with your mate, with your partner, you don't resolve the issues because you don't know how to handle feedback. And that's all it is, constructive feedback. So what you will first do, if you're going to talk and give feedback to your partner, you're going to give them positive and constructive, any type of feedback you want to give to them, make it positive. Even if it's something that needs to be corrected, still be positive in the way you say it. So don't be negative. What you would say something like is, first off, you want to focus more on the behavior rather than the general trait that the person is portraying. So you want to say something like, I appreciate you when you do X, Y, and Z. Such as, let's say, for instance, your partner, he heard you when you was addressing a concern, and you started noticing how different he started addressing himself with you or with that concern. He started doing things a little different, moving differently, and you noticed that he heard you. You can say, "I appreciate that you heard what I said about X, Y, and Z, and it lets me know that you're with me." Okay? And then receiving feedback, because you're going to have to receive it just as well as you give it. All right. So be open to receiving feedback without becoming defensive, and use it as an opportunity for your growth. Verbal communication is very important as well. Remember, I talked about the mirror. Get in front of a mirror, talk to yourself by practicing as if you was talking to your partner. Give yourself eye contact. Gaze into your own eyes like you're gazing into theirs. Don't pierce it like you're staring them down, but you want to look in your eyes because that's the way you will be looking in their eyes. And it also opens you up to be more comfortable when you're talking to them and using eye contact. And of course, on conflict resolution. So we talked about conflict resolution. You definitely want to use the conflict resolution by assimilating conflict and practice resolution. You want to practice resolving the issue at hand. All right. So we're focusing on things that happened in the past. Talk about what's going on right now. All right. So keep the resolution focused on today's problem and today's issue. Don't dwell on the problem, but you want to come up with a solution for the problem. All right. And then journaling, write down your answer. Anything that you have feelings about, write it down, because it helps you to see what's going on with you and why you feel that way. And then when you reread something, you can probably say, "Is that logical for me to feel this way?" You can question that as well. But you also want to, what it does, if you choose to, you don't have to, you can share what you wrote to your partner and say, "Hey, I need you to be more understanding and have some empathy in about what you're about to read. I wrote this down because this is how I felt, and I'm getting it out, but don't be judgmental about it." And if you feel like you're not comfortable with sharing that, then don't share it. All right. So here are the benefits of communication skills. What it does, it helps you improve your understanding. A better understanding to each other's feelings, thoughts, and your perspective. Stronger connection with each other. Yes, when you have good communication skills, you develop a stronger connection, because now you see your mate, you see them. You see them as a human just as flawed as you are. And they see you as a human just as flawed as they are. All right? So it enhances emotional, that word go again. Intimacy. Yeah. That's why I had to let you know that intimacy is not sex, all right? It enhances it and a better connection with each other. And of course, conflict management. That is one of the number one keys to be able to manage your conflict. When you communicate effectively, you will be able to come up with a resolution and reduce frustration as well as misunderstanding. And there's your increase in your trust because y'all communicate with each other. You trust each other more because it what it does, it brings about a greater trust and respect for each other, and it helps you to be more open and honest in your communication when you're talking to each other. You're not lying or holding things back that needs to be known. So, practical exercises that you can do, you can take daily exercise routine where you and your partner will talk about your feelings and any other significant event in your life, and you will talk about it for about 10 to 15 minutes. Don't harp too long. 15 minutes is the max. Just talk. Because you're going to do this every day until you build such a connection with each other that it becomes so natural. And what you're doing, if you want to learn how to do this, you can take the person, like you talk for 5 minutes and the other person talk for 5 minutes, and then y'all share in another 5 minutes or 15 minutes of some type of what's going on with you or whatever. Even if you don't have anything to share, listen to them for the 10 minutes, okay? And vice versa as well. They might not have anything to share and you have something to share, then share it with them as well. And then you have the 5 positives. So what you would do with that 5 positive, you would talk and you would share 5 positive things that you like about your mate, that you appreciate about your mate, and your mate would do the same thing. Y'all both have to be on the same page, so you would explain this to your partner, what is really happening and how this is going to go, because you can't be doing all this by yourself and your partner have no clue and don't even know what was going on. You're like, well, she told me 5 positive things about me, but then I don't know why she do it. No, say, look, this is what I'm doing. This is how I would like for us to build our communication. And then you share this with him or her, and you say, look, this is what we need to do. This is how we need to do this, all right? So that way y'all know, okay, well, today I got to come up with 5 things to say to him, and I got to come up with 5 things to say to her. And you just do this. Even if it was last night, you can say, I appreciate that you didn't snore last night. I was able to get some sleep. And my husband, he say I snore. And I know I do because I have caught myself doing it. And he say, you're snoring. I'm so used to it. So when you're not here, I can't sleep. And I say, what? I said, that's like the opposite, ain't it? Because usually you can't sleep when the person snore. And then when the person's not there, you should be able to get some good sleep. He's like, nah, I'm used to hearing you snore. And that just makes me feel better to know that you're here. And I get it, because what it is that he's actually saying to me is that when you're snoring and I wake up in the middle of the night, I know you're right here by my side. And I feel comfortable knowing that you're here. That's what that is. Because he sleeps like a baby when I'm there. I notice that when I'm there, he gets some sleep. When I'm not there, it be 4 o'clock in the morning. I be getting up to go use the restroom, and I do that a lot in the middle of the night. And I would hear my phone like a zzz or something like that, and then I would look at it, and he's in the kitchen, because we got cameras everywhere. I'm like, he's in the kitchen. And I'm like, man, what are you doing up? But then sometimes I don't say anything because I'm going right back to sleep. So I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to get my sleep, But just let you know, have that communication with each other, okay? And then the timeout rule. Remember the timeout rule. Pause, all right? And you come back to each other and have the resolution. Come up with a resolution. Now let's talk about the nonverbal application. You want to know the nonverbal appreciation. I talked about the nonverbal communication, right? But let's talk about the nonverbal appreciation. Showing that you appreciate your partner just by the gestures that you make. So like me, I like to rub my fingers through my husband's hair. That's how I do. I just do that. I love it. I rub his head and I massage his little earlobe because I know that's a pressure point. So I massage his earlobe and then I rub his neck, and that's how I'm showing I appreciate him, because I'm very touchy feely. I said that once, right? Yes, I am. So you can hold their hand, you can smile, you can also see the thing when you hold in hand, or let's say for instance y'all have a conflict, right? And you don't want it to get heated, or you can see where it's going, like it's heading into a heated situation, just gently hold their hand, touch it, and rub it, just very slowly. And it calms them down. It makes them be like, I feel the warmth, I feel the love, okay. And they calm down because they know that you're not their enemy, that they don't need to be fighting you. Y'all in this together. All right, so that's a good way of doing it as well. So by incorporating these components, techniques, and exercises into your relationship, you can significantly enhance your communication skills, leading to a more fulfilling and harmonious partnership. And that does end this particular. We're going to talk about the other. I want to get into the other questionnaire because that one will help you with relationship building, all right? To build your relationship and make your relationship stronger. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and start the podcast because I want to just get right into it. So, to build your relationship and to make your relationship stronger, how would you do that? Well, we already talked about the communication skills. Didn't we do that? We sure did. So, what I want to do is go into a deeper exercise for you so you can understand. I'm going to put it all together. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it all together, all right? Let's just get right into it. Building a strong, healthy relationship requires effort and commitment from both parties, both partners, from you and from your mate. You cannot do this all alone by yourself. It's just not going to work. No matter how much effort that you put into it, if your mate and your partner is not putting in the effort, it will not work. You're exhausting yourself, all right? So relationship building exercises can help enhance communication, increase intimacy, and foster mutual respect and understanding. So here are some several exercises that both of you can engage in to strengthen your relationship. Communication exercises. We already went through that. Don't want to go through it again. All I'm going to tell you is to make sure that you practice everything that I have already taught you with the communication skill training, all right? And then intimacy. We talked about intimacy, how it's not sex. Go back over that video as well, but I'm going to add something else on there. I'm going to add this here to it. When to build intimacy and connection, you need date night. Date night is very important. See, I love date night with my husband. I look forward to those days. Matter of fact, I was looking on Amazon to find a beautiful dress that I can wear for our next date night, you know? So date night, schedule regularly date nights by planning regular dates to spend quality time with each other. You need to be just you and your partner, okay? So schedule that time together. You want to do activities that both of you enjoy. What it would do will foster connection. So don't be, well, he likes to go to the ball game, but you don't. Then that's not a date night. That's just you compromising and giving in to something that they like doing just to show your support. But you want to do something that the both of you like doing and that you can enjoy together. You also want to practice your love language exercises. So if you haven't done it already, there's a love language exercise that you can pull up online. I cannot post it in this course because it doesn't belong to me. But I can recommend it for you, and that's what I'm going to do. So what you want to do is go online and pull up love language, and you're going to take that test. So the love language test, and you're going to find out what is your love language. So you want to identify the language by learning each other's love language. If it's words of affection, you can say words of affirmation. Some people, their love language is words of affirmation. Like they need to be told that they're great. They need you to tell them that you appreciate them. They need you to tell them, you know? All right? Is it acts of services? Well, for me, my love language is acts of services. I show my love by doing things for people. That is part of my love language. When I do something for you, you don't have to ask me for anything. If I see that there's a need, I love you, I'm going to do something to help you in that area. But that might not be your partner's it might not be your partner's love language though. It's because it's yours doesn't mean that you are going to constantly do acts of service. You have to find out what your partner's love language is and do that. But for you to show your love and you say, hey, let your partner know mine is acts of service. So when you see me doing these things for you, I'm showing you that I love you, but I understand that yours is words of affirmation. So I'm going to do both. I'm going to give you the words of affirmation that you need, but I'm also going to do the acts of service that I need, because that's how I really let you know I love you. I can give you words of affirmation all day long, but that is what's helping you. It's not necessarily helping me, but I want you to understand, because I understand that your love language is different from mine. I'm giving you what you need as well as what I need too, and vice versa. All right. It may be receiving gifts. Some people think that if you give them flowers and buy them things, that's a love language for them. All right. Quality time, or even physical touch. I'm gonna tell you, my husband and I, we took this test before we got married, and I'm the one who brought it up because I had took it before him, and I said, let me do this with him. And I'm also take it again and see if it changed. Mine did not change. I was surprised that it didn't change. His was pretty much similar to mine. We have similar love language. Like for instance, my number one is acts of service. Helping me. Actually, no, I take that back. That's my number two. My number one is quality time. I meant to say that. That's my number one love language is quality time. I need to spend time with you because that's how I connect with you. Whether even if it's on the phone, and I think that's how the narcissist was able to get me, because of the fact that he spent a lot of time talking to me and giving me attention and stuff like that. I don't need a whole lot of attention. That's one thing I don't need. I can go without talking to you for days and be cool with that. But for me to know that we're together, I do need that quality time. That's why I love date night with my husband. We need us together. Let go of the world and let's have us. And then of course, acts of service. So like I do things. I'm not gonna. And I think that's why my mother takes advantage of me in that area, because I do things for her, and she just eats it all up, And who else know me in that area than my own mother, all right? So like, well, I know she's gonna do it because that's how she is, That's how I show my love to you, but it doesn't mean that you have to take advantage of that. But anyways, and then of course, physical touch. Now, I'm the type of person, I don't like to be touched by random people. But when I am loving you, I am very touchy-feely. Yes, I'm touching your hair, touching your ears, touching your neck. I even touch your nose. Like I would rub my fingers down my husband's nose like this, or sometimes I would do like that. Like I just touch, and of course he has his is quality time as well as acts of service. And words of affirmation is not really there for me, even though I like hearing it. I think words of affirmation and gifts are at the bottom for me, because I don't really need words of affirmation due to the fact that I give it to myself and I already know it. But and I don't feed off of it. Like I don't let it go to my head like I need it to boost me up. Now, as far as the gift giving, I'm not a big gift giver. I'm gonna be honest with you. Your birthday come up, I'm gonna call you and I'm gonna say happy birthday, and I'm gonna give you some words of affirmation. Pretty much, I'm gonna tell you this is your day. This is a day that you'll be able to do what you want. Don't let no one mess up your day. Don't let no one get you upset. Do what you want to do on your, like I would do those type of things, but I'm not going out to buy you a gift. I'm gonna be straight up with that. I'm not, because I'm not a gift giver. Now, have I given gifts before? Yes, but I'm not the type that I always come bearing gifts. I don't. But I don't expect no one to do that with me either. I don't require it. And when someone does it, I'm like, oh, thank you. But it's not necessarily to a point where I'm super excited. I'm not. I'm just not. It's just like, why spend your money like that unless I needed it? Now, if I needed it, that's different. But if it's something that I really could have went without, it's one of those things. So you have to really put yourself in, do this test. It's going to help you to understand your mate a whole lot better and why they're not receiving the love that you're trying to give to them when you can give them the actual love that they actually need. All right. And then, of course, your eye gauging. Oh, yes. You want to silently stare each other in the eyes and make Google eyes with each other. Google. You know how you was when you were a teenager and you fell in love and you were like, oh. Yeah, do that. It'll work. You would be surprised how much it'll work. And then you're like, oh, you got freckles. Oh, your freckles are so cute. You know, it's like, okay, you know I have freckles. But then it makes them blush. I make my husband blush all the time. I got a few videos catching him blush. Matter of fact, his birthday was this past weekend, and he didn't know. When we went out to eat, he didn't know I was going to videotape him, and I did, and he just started blushing. Oh my goodness, I love to see him blush. Matter of fact, that's one of the qualities that make me, I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna stop right there. His blushing, put it like that, it turns me on. Okay. Anyways, so we're gonna focus, and then of course you want to focus on the time that you have with each other. Try to focus on that time without words when you do the eye gauging. Like, don't talk if you can. But if you want to say something sweet, then do that. Okay, time and vulnerability exercises. Let's talk about trust. We're going to talk about being vulnerable because this is a sacred part of your relationship that belongs to the two of you. No one else should know about these things. It's self-just the two of you, unless your partner has shared it with someone else about themselves, not about you, but about themselves. And vice versa, you have shared something about yourself with someone else, but you don't share your partner's most intimate situations, all right? This is how you get your partner to open up to you and to be more vulnerable with you, and y'all can trust each other. So let's talk about the trust fall. I talked about that once before and I said I wasn't going to do it myself, but you might want to do it. So the physical trust is when one partner falls back into the other's arm, trusting that they will be caught by their partner. And then when it happens, you're going to discuss with each other the feelings and the thought that arise during that exercise. Like, what were you thinking? Did you say, oh my God, he's not gonna catch me? Oh, I don't think he's gonna catch me. Oh, please help, please hope, I'm hoping you catch me. Or was it like, I was afraid, I feared, like I feel like I was gonna just fall forever. You wanna express, or maybe I felt calm. I felt like this was natural. I just knew you was gonna catch me. Those type of things. So when you fall backwards, you're going to close your eyes. You're going to cross your arms like this. Oh, you're going to hold your shoulders, opposite hand, opposite shoulder. And then you're just going to fall back. That way you won't brace yourself by touching something or breaking your wrist or whatever. Okay. And then the vulnerability sharing. Let's talk about that, I meant to say. So share your fears. Each partner share a personal fear or vulnerability, something that you are vulnerable with opening up. So that's something that you're gonna do. Like my husband, he shared his fears with me. I did reassure him with the fear that he had, what he was having, that he didn't, well, anyways, I don't want to get into that. Like I said, intimacy, right? So it's vulnerable. You want to keep that to yourself, but I want you to know that we have done that, all right? And then, of course, you have support. You definitely need to offer support and understanding, reinforcing that the relationship is a safe place, right? That is going to help you build a stronger relationship with each other. And we talked about conflict resolution. I don't have to go into that. Just go back and replay the conflict resolution on how to resolve any type of conflict. And if you need to role play with somebody that you trust, then definitely do that. And don't forget the pause. When it gets heated, you need to pause, all right? Don't just keep going. Now, personal growth and goal setting exercises. This is where the individuality in the two of you come out. Because you got to keep in mind, because you are a couple and y'all together, you still an individual. And you still have your own individual needs as well as future plans. So you want to set goals. And the way you would do that, you would set individually goals. So each of you, both of you, will set personal goals and you will share them with each other. And then you will sit back and you will discuss it. You have to discuss these plans with each other, okay? You want to support each other. One of y'all might want to go back to school and get a doctorate. And the other one might be like, well, I was thinking about starting a business. You need to discuss how that's going to work. How you going to make it work? One thing I can say is this. It's sad when one person put their dreams on hold for the other. Because time is precious. And there's not a lot of time that you can keep thinking that you can have to do what you have been wanting to do. So you should be able to make it start happening at the same time, but you work out a plan. Just like you have a business plan, you need to work out a plan for whatever it is that you're setting for yourself. And that's the reason why you have the vision board. Definitely create a vision board for the both of you together. What you would do when you come up with your individual plan, he come up with his, you would take a vision board or whatever, and you would go on this board and you say, well, this is what we visualize of having. And you put it all over the board, write down, maybe I can do this at the end of this year and get started on research. Here, I can do this here, and I can do this at the end of this year, and I can get to making phone calls or filling out some applications or whatever. So basically, and then he does things, she does things, whatever, and it just keeps going into eventually, okay, we done that. Check. That was done. Keep it there so you can see your progress and you can see that you accomplished that. So when something over here gets hard, you can be like, well, we was able to accomplish this, so we definitely going to accomplish that. So let's keep going, okay? So that's the reason why the vision board is so important. So you're going to create this together. You're going to create a vision board with shared dreams and aspirations. Y'all going to write down what you're going to do together. And that's when your individuality can come together as one. And constantly talk about each item and what they mean to you and how you can work towards them as you continue to grow together. And you want to make sure that y'all stay on the same page, all right? So let's talk about fun and playful exercises. This is another way you can build your relationship. Play games. Game night. For me, there's this game called Operation. It's old, but I had looked it up on Amazon and I was thinking about getting that. And I want it because I noticed that, like, I do hair and makeup, and I do my own makeup, I do my own hair, and so forth. But I used to braid hair so much when I was younger to where my hands started hurting. And I feel like if I get that game, I can go back to keeping my hands steady to be able to pick those little bones and stuff out of the patient on the little operation table. I used to play that game a lot when I was a kid. And yes, I'm showing my age. It was in the 80s. But if you can get some games that you and your spouse can play together, I think that will help. You want to choose games that spends the evening together, or even it don't have to be in the afternoon. It could be whenever y'all have time for each other. So both of y'all should enjoy that game together. And what it does, it creates bonding time, relaxation, and y'all have fun together. It strengthens your bond, all right? And you can strengthen it through play. My husband and I, we play a lot. Yeah, we do. I enjoy being with him, and then he plays a lot with my son. And I say he because I do play with my son too, but my husband play with my son all the time. Like them two, they are always playing. They be playing a little basketball game or just wrestling or little joking things or whatever. They just do a lot of stuff together. But and then I go into that story another time. Anyway, let's keep on going. You can tell I like telling stories, and I do. But you can do travel memories. So you want to share travel memories that y'all have had already in the past. Go over some pictures, some videos, and stuff like that. And be like, man, you remember this? I remember my husband when he proposed to me in Miami, Florida, right? We was originally supposed to have went to the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, but we didn't get to make it because it was on the COVID time, and they had it to where you have to be vaccinated and you had to take get tested within a certain amount of time, and we didn't have the time for that. So we ended up going to, where did we go? We went to Miami. Well, he proposed to me out there, and not just that, we love to eat. We both are foodies, and I had pictures of food that we used to go to when we go to Miami or whatever. This one place, I think it's called Manny's or something like that. Anyway, it was some cheesecake and all that stuff like that, and I was taking pictures by the Christmas tree because it was around Christmas time. Matter of fact, it was the week of Christmas, and I said, "You remember this?" And he was like, "Man, I was just thinking about that. Oh, I would love to go back and get that." And we ended up planning another trip to go back there just to get that food. Yes, we planned a trip to go eat. That's exactly what we did. So you want to do those type of things, all right? And what else? So don't forget the practical exercises where you do the 5 positive. You say 5 things that you are appreciative of each other. Don't forget the love gestures, the holding hands, the smiling, and smile at the appropriate time, as well as communication. You want to keep that up. And then your body language, pay attention to yourself. Don't forget that you can practice in the mirror or whatever. And you want to give each other eye contacts and stuff like that. And holding hands is a beautiful thing. So by regularly engaging in these exercises, you can build a stronger foundation of trust, intimacy, and communication, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling and a resilient relationship that will help you with building your relationship. I hope this is something that is useful for you, because I feel like whenever you have something to go by, it'll help you stay on track and you won't fall off, and you and your mate can have a wonderful life together. So the next thing I want you to do for your next exercise, your activity, is going to be your questionnaire. The questionnaire is actually to help you identify if you're ready to re-enter into a new relationship after healing from a narcissistic one. So some of you, I'm going to tell you now, you're probably not ready. But you might say, I think I'm ready, I'm not sure. And then for those of you who say, look, I'm ready for a new relationship, I'm over that old dude, let's keep going. Well, this is what this questionnaire is for, and we're going to get into that.